If you don't mind me asking, how many clients do you and your team have like on the books for Medicare?
I don't know, probably 10,000.
10,000 Medicare clients?
Least. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, at least.
Y'all
Yeah.
are crushing it. If y'all don't understand how big 10,000 Medicare clients is on a annual basis, y'all just go to ChatGPT and y'all figure out the math on that. But guys, again, Miss Stephanie, I do appreciate you joining us this evening. I know you can be anywhere in the world, but you decided to come on and pour into us this evening. And, the pleasure is all mine to be able to connect with you and, just hear how you've been able to succeed at the heights that you have been, especially with your team and your in what you're building. I know Mike was telling me that you are crushing it in the Medicare space, right?
Yep.
And we got some Medicare agents on here getting ready for AEP. They're getting ready for AEP. I think they stopped selling early because they need like a month break
Hey,
because
no
of,
breaks, no
of
breaks.
how fast they're about to start running come AEP.
Oh
So
my-
I'm glad we could catch you before the season because I know during that time no calls are happening. So
Yeah, 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 for real.
yeah, so my question for you is how long have you been in the business?
So I got my health and life license in 2011. So
Okay.
15 and a half years now.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, I was in my
Okay.
mid 20s when I got into business. So
Okay. And has it always been all Medicare or did you do life insurance as well? What did you start with?
I actually, I got in, I got recruited by Bankers, Colonial Penn back in 2011, and I started with them. I lasted 3 whole months as a captive agent because
Okay.
I don't do well with like the employee situation. My husband always tells me that, like, if I had to go work someplace, I would get fired like day two. So I got recruited by them, and back in those days, they only sold like one Medicare supplement, life insurance, and annuities. Long-term care. Long-term care was their baby. So I hustled. I did a ton of appointments. I did like 20 appointments a week in person. And I realized I needed more stuff to sell. So I ended up going to work for AmeriLife 3 months later in Florida. So I'm in Southwest Florida.
Okay.
AmeriLife back in those days were all individually owned agencies, local agencies to the area. So I worked in one of those for over 10 years. And I learned how
Gotcha.
to train agents and sell Medicare. And I've sold everything, honestly. I've sold Medicare, I've done ACA, I've done life, I've done annuities, I've done long-term care. I just love Medicare a lot. I can sell everything
Yeah.
else. I just don't
Yeah.
really, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. I was gonna ask you, right? Because I always tell people when they come into the business, it's very, very important to lock in and focus on one vertical
Yes.
until they get really, really good, right? It's better to be able to be a specialist in the field than it is to be a general practitioner, right?
Yeah.
General
Yeah.
practitioners, they make decent money, right? They may make 250, maybe $300,000 a year, but a specialist, they're going to make $500,000 plus, right?
Yeah.
So, what
Yeah.
made you choose the Medicare space over all the other fields?
Two things. One, the residual income. I saw how much people were making, agents were making after 3 or 5 years in the business, and I was like, I want that. I want to be able to like take the summer off with my kids and go on trips and things like that. But also the biggest part is KB asked what part of Southwest Florida. I'm in Southwest Florida. I'm in Port Charlotte, like between Fort Myers and Tampa. So many of our seniors here, unfortunately, like are taken care advantage of. We live in a huge population. Like our average age is like 72, and I would go into people's homes and I would see other agents have come in and, they just didn't do right by these people. So I really felt the passion in my 20s to like just really hone in on Medicare and go out there and do the best I could for every single person I met and keep
Mm.
those relationships year after year after year. I have a lot of clients. I'm still getting renewals from back in 2011, so they've stayed on the books for a very long time.
That is incredible. Yeah,
Yeah,
the renewals and the residuals on the Medicare is completely different, right?
yeah,
And I love how you came in with like the end in mind, right? Like that way you're not working in vain, right? A
yeah,
lot of people when they get into the business, I always like to tell them you have to be able to choose to go all in on one side first, right? If and you got to come with the end in mind of like what's your retirement strategy? Like what's your retirement plan? It's either you're going to build a very big book of business on the Medicare side by yourself on your own pen. And yeah, you can recruit into that. Or if you don't want to build, if you don't want to do that, then you got to build a life insurance agency that can really be able to pay you and override passively as well. Now, can you
Yeah.
do everything collectively? Yes, we're doing that right now, but it did not start out that way. It started out with us focusing on one line, recruiting and building a life side, and then we were able to bring in a Medicare person to help us build that side out. So I love how you started with that end in mind in regards to the residual. So going back, right before you got into the insurance space, what made you actually want to join insurance?
Well, it's interesting because my bachelor's degree it's in HR. It's a medical administration, HR. And actually, I originally went to school for dance. I'm actually a trained ballet, contemporary tap, and all that. I've coached for 20
Okay.
years. I'm officially retired from that now. But I all I wanted to do was dance. So I really needed like something. So I put up my resume up on Monster, which is like Indeed. That Monster was really big in like 2010, 2011. And I got recruited into it. I knew nothing about insurance. I remember when bankers reached out to me, I called my mom because I'm like, oh, I'm getting recruited by a life insurance company. Like, I don't even know what life insurance is. I was like 25 years old. Like I remember that when I was 19, my Chase credit card had sent me, something if I wanted like accidental death and dismemberment life insurance policy. And that's all I knew. I knew nothing. But they did sell me on the income, right? They sold me on the residuals. They sold me on that dream. So that's really kind of what got me into it. But I did not seek out being an insurance agent. They found
Yeah.
me. They definitely found
No.
me.
That's good. That's good. That's kind of how I got started, right? I was applying just for a whole bunch of jobs just randomly, and
Mhm.
I didn't know what I was applying for. And some lady called me one day and said, "Yeah, you applied for our field underwriter position." I said, "What the heck is a field underwriter?" Right. And she said, "Yeah, you just got to get your life insurance license." I said, "What is life insurance?"
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
Same thing.
and I just stuck with it, right?
Yep.
So going
Yep.
back to like you said, you guys started in 2011, right?
Yes.
2011. So how did your first 30 to 90 days go in the business? And how many sales do you recall having within your first few months?
So I started, okay. So let me go back to like originally. Originally, I went to bankers, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, I learned the heck out of like m making cold calls. I remember we had a stack of like leads and people who signed up wanting more information. I spent probably, I don't know, 70 hours a week just calling people, trying to make appointments. And I would run like 20 appointments a week. With bankers, I didn't make a ton of sales because I only had like three products. And that's when I learned I need to become a broker because I'd go into
Yeah.
homes and like it was a Medicaid home or it was, they needed something GI and we didn't have that, right? So that was rough. I worked my tail off and I think I maybe made like 10 sales in 3 months there. It
Yeah.
was not very good. But I remember going into AmeriLife when I joined that agency. I think I had my first sale in like 2 days because I ended up going back to all those people and I sold like every single one of them. And I just hustled. I door knocked. I mean, you're not allowed to do that anymore for Medicare guys, just to let you know. That was legal back in the days. I dressed myself up, go door knocking, and I go business knocking. I honestly don't remember how many sales, but I would sell something every day. And I remember that. And I tell my agents now, sell something every single day. And if you
Yes.
haven't sold something, then you're working on Saturday. If it doesn't matter. One of the guys that worked with me at Life, he's like, just sell something every day and you become rich. You make a lot of money
100%.
in business.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll just sell something every day. So, maybe it was a big sale, maybe it was a little sale. I sold something every day. So,
Yeah, yeah. We all it's funny you say that because we always tell people, one sale a day keeps the bills away, right? One sale a day keep the bills away. But in fact, if you get one sale a day, no matter what, you're gonna make a lot of money in the business, right?
yes.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so what's been your best month on your own personal pin ever? What's your best personal month?
Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. It's definitely AEP. It's definitely
Yeah.
AEP. Probably, honestly, my first year, 2012. So January of 2012, I had been with AmeriLife for like 7 or 8 months. And this is really important for your Medicare agents because like there's a lot of talk about these companies going in and out of states and like leaving and having
Yeah.
to sell and things like that. But we had a company called Universal Health in Florida, and it was a small Medicare HMO company, and they went out of business. And so in January, we had a ton of terminations, which my team knows I love the word termination. That's like an amazing word. Like, give me terminations, baby, because we get like special elections and it's a good thing. That was probably my best like 3 months because I literally just everybody would come through the door and they would need to change their insurance. I don't know how many sales I made, probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales in 3 months. It was
That's
so
crazy.
long ago. I don't even remember the numbers, but and I still have some of those clients. They came to me because they didn't have an agent. And I mean, I just switched them to a new plan because they had to do something,
Yeah.
I got paid for it. And then, they just paid my client. So, but we communicate with our clients really well. So, we have a lot of processes to keep in front of our clients so they keep coming back.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you actually about that, right? Because dealing with, if you don't mind me asking, how many clients do you and your team have like on the books for Medicare?
I don't know, probably 10,000, probably.
Oh my,
Well,
you
but
got
remember, my team is still new because I've only been an agency for like 4 years.
10,000 Medicare clients?
Yeah,
Sheesh.
yeah, at least.
Y'all are crushing it.
We are. Well,
Y'all are crushing
live
it.
in Florida. So I mean, we have, like,
Yeah.
you can throw like a rock in a crowd and hit everyone they hit. It's going to be Medicare eligible down here.
Listen,
That'd be
hey
crazy.
guys, if y'all don't understand how big 10,000 Medicare clients is on a annual basis, y'all just go to Chat GPT and y'all figure out the math on that. But guys, that is not easy to do, especially in the span of 4 years.
Well, 10,000 is probably what I have. I stopped selling a couple years ago. I don't really sell a whole
Okay.
lot anymore. So about 10,000 between what I have and what the agency have. Because I have a lot of Medicare supplements.
Yes.
So when you write a Medicare supplement, they just sit and they ride. And then we
Yeah.
every year for their drugs, and then the renewals just keep coming in. And I love those. I love writing supplements because they're very little bit of work. Little.
Yeah. No. So 10,000 Medicare clients. Oh my freaking goodness.
Yep. Yeah.
That is awesome. Mike didn't give me the full backstory of who I was talking to the night, Miss Stephanie. I'm like, okay. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. You got to talk to Stephanie now. I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna talk to Stephanie. 10,000 Medicare clients. That
Yeah.
is
I think
incredible.
about, I think there's probably about, since we became an agency, we're probably about 4,000, 5,000 as an agency. My husband does all of our numbers. Honestly, I don't really work with them too much. I just know, money's coming in and the agents are happy. That's
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Yeah. Like we all strive to be there that one day. Yeah, I just want to make the agents happy. We're good. The money's coming in. It's okay. So with 10,000 Medicare clients, right? Obviously, that is yes, it's about the sales process, but we understand with Medicare to keep those clients happy on the back end, there's a process that
yeah,
is more important than the front end,
yeah,
right? What does that look like for you guys, like in terms of like systems for like our Medicare people on the call? Like, what
yeah.
does that look like for you guys to be able to manage that many clients on a month to month basis?
Yeah. So first, I mean, we have a CRM. We use high level. And
Okay.
all of our agents get access to that for very, very, very cheap. Because we want them to use high level. We need them to use.
Yes.
We send out monthly newsletters, and then starting in August, we send out pre-AEP communication, right? If we start hearing things like down in our area, Humana is starting to take a nosedive and they're dropping providers like a lot. So we're sending emails out to clients like, hey, we know this is your provider, be on the lookout. But honestly, guys, like if you're going to sell Medicare, and this is what I tell my agents, I came out of like selling. Like I sell a little bit, but my numbers are trash because I'm pretty much agent forward now. But
Yeah.
this is on me all the time. And because I have all my renewals, my current clients are my current clients. If they call me, I pick up the phone. Today I was on the phone for 15 minutes with a client I've had probably 10 years, and it's building that relationship because when they're getting a call from like an 800 number, somebody they don't know, they don't have that follow up, right? But if they
Yeah.
have your number, They have you to follow up. You got to remember these people are older, they're nervous, and just showing up, and that's what the other agents aren't doing. They're just not showing up. They're going and selling a product, and like you're never hearing from them again. So it's just continuously, reaching out. We do birthday cards on the CRM. I always, 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 all my agents. My daughter's an agent now. She's been an agent for like 2 years. I'm like, did you do your thank you card? We hand write out thank you cards to every new sale that we get. Even if they were over the phone or no matter how we found them, they get a thank you card. So it's just showing up, picking up your phone, answering the phone calls. I think that the most I get from people like, hey, my agent hasn't called me back in 3 years. Like, how? How? Right?
Yeah.
How? I'm busy, but I'm not that busy.
Correct. Yeah, that's crazy. And the systems obviously help with all that too. So let's shift gears a little bit, right? Because there's some people like new agents on the line that want to kind of be able to pick your brain like on the mindset things, right? So what are three things that agents should do if they want to be able to get to, I have in my notes here about $40,000 a month in income, right? Let's just do, because that might be too heavy for some people starting out because they're still trying to get the 5 to 10, right?
Yeah,
So what
especially
are
on the Medicare side.
yeah, what are three things, since we're talking Medicare, what are three things that an agent should do, right, in the Medicare space to be able to get to their first, we always tell people to get to your first 100 Medicare clients as fast as you possibly can,
Love
right?
it.
I'm not sure if that's what your guys' focus is. If it's not, I'm interested to know what your focus is for your first
Yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what are like, yeah, what's your focus? And then what are three things that they should do in order to hit that?
So every year, and I've done this since the very beginning, I always had a whiteboard up. Like my very first AEP, I had a whiteboard, and it was like my goal was 100 my first year. And
Oh,
every
look
time
at
I
that.
made a sale, I tick it off on the refrigerator, And my husband was like, "How much money did you make today?" 'Cause my husband was a law enforcement for years until he retired early to come work with me, and because he's like, just make the money. But I tell agents 50 to 100 your first season is really good. I don't dismiss under 100. I definitely think some seasons are easier than others. But
Yeah.
it all goes in now. And so three things to get to that, right? You have to prepare. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you guys are into fitness, I've ran a lot of half marathons and stuff over the years. You don't get to go out there and you just hit it out of the park, right? You're going to have some really crappy days, you're going to have some really amazing days. But it all starts now, this time of year. So, referral partners is one thing I really have my agents really focus on is getting some good referral partners. Find a property and casualty agency that doesn't do health insurance. They're getting
Mm,
calls for Medicare and health insurance every single day. That is the first thing I have new agents do is find a property and casualty agency that doesn't have a referral partner. And we go in as, hey, I want to help you grow your business because my clients need home and auto too. And I know,
that's good.
yeah. So it's all about what we can give. I'm actually really big in BNI and Givers Gain. If you guys ever look into BNI is huge. Most of us are in referral networking partnerships. So that's number one, finding referral partners. Financial advisors is a big one. If you're going to be doing Medicare, like a long-term care facility, senior centers, senior neighborhoods. So finding those referral partners is number one for me. Absolutely number one. Number two is really your mindset, right? You just got to get up, right? And some days suck. Some days, like I got in this business and like my kids were like 3 and 2. My husband was a cop. He was on SWAT. He worked all the time. I got up every day for my 8 a.m. meeting, 5 days a week. I had to get the kids to daycare. I had to get myself into an office to go to a physical meeting, but that's what started my mindset, and then I had my to-do list. I had my leads I was going to run, my appointments I had, what businesses I was going to go to. I had a plan for every single day. So time blocking and having the mindset to make yourself stick to that 5 days a week, at least for the first few years, is huge. Once you build your business in the Medicare field, you can become a little more relaxed sometimes, but really, and just following through. That's where so many agents really fail is that just they get down on themselves and they don't have the mindset. And then like they know they need to go do these things, but they don't. They don't go do the first in the day, which is the training, which doesn't get them to go run the lead, which doesn't get them to go out and run the appointments, right? So it's all like a domino effect. And that is
You,
absolutely
I'm
huge.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was so good. Guys, that was some gold right there. I believe, success is 90 95% mental, 5% activity. I truly believe that because if you don't have the mental side of it down, the activity is not going to follow. And
Yeah.
I teach something called the identity framework, where you have to be able to visualize yourself somewhere, and then you have to be able to become that person in order to be able to put the activity in to get it, right? And there's a lot of people who aren't moving their feet and putting the activity in simply because they have not changed their identity of being that person who they want to be. And they're still making decisions as the person that they are.
Mm,
Right. And it sounded like for you, you seen yourself being somewhere. You had a vision for yourself being somewhere in the midst of everything going on, being a mom, two children, and you had every excuse in the world. Your husband was in the SWAT. I'm sure he was doing decent financially,
mm,
right? And you had every excuse in the world probably just to be like, I'm
yeah.
good. But
Yeah.
you shifted your identity. Talk a little bit about that. And you're a new mom, right? Two to
Mhm.
three. That's very
Yeah.
new. So talk
Yeah.
about that shift in identity for you, where you could have been comfortable and complacent, but you decided
Yeah.
not to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a very competitive person. So I'm a very competitive person. So that was first and foremost. We don't fail at anything, and giving up is kind of failure. But, I wanted life, I wanted the life more than I wanted the money, I think at that time of my life. My mom was a full-time banker. She had a full-time career, wonderful mother, but she was never present. And I knew that
Mm,
the business could give me that. I knew that the business could give me the ability to go to the school, give me the ability to go to the weekends and doing sporting events, right? And I knew that I didn't want to go get a 9 to 5. I just was
yeah.
never, I think I mentioned that earlier. My husband said I would get fired probably day 2 working for somebody. I just don't do well. Like, so that was it. I just saw that it was, yeah, that's what I did. Time, right? I didn't want to miss out. And my kids now, my daughter's 19, she'll be 20 this year, and she's in the business and she's killing it. And my son is 17 and he's moving to go to college in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, man, I didn't miss anything, and I
Yeah, that's cool.
can say that, once your kids get to that age, like, oh, you always have regrets. Honestly, like I did everything with them, and I still got to make a really great career. And now we're building this agency as a family. And, I think that was it. There was just no alternative. I didn't
Yeah.
want the alternative. And I think that sometimes we think, oh, well, I can just go work this job. But do you really want to? Or do you
Mm.
want the lifestyle? I want the lifestyle more so than the money.
I'm gonna just let that breathe a little bit, Stephanie. Okay.
It's huge. I said that. I think
Yeah.
that was the best thing that ever happened. Like when my kids graduate high school, I'm like, oh, I just got to do it all. My daughter is a competitive dancer. We were able to go to Disney World and go to the competitions together and do the things. I never had to ask for time off. My husband always had to ask for time off. He worked for the sheriff's office, and I didn't want that. I didn't want somebody telling me, oh, you can't go do that. So I told my
Yeah.
you're gonna make this work because
Yeah.
you have
And that's
to.
good. And feel free to answer this question or not answer this question. But the lifestyle that you said you wanted, was that due to, maybe your parents and your family not being able to be as present in your
Yeah.
childhood as well?
Yeah, yeah, because my dad was a cop too, and my mom
Oh,
like
look
worked.
at that.
I know, I don't know why I married a cop, but we've been together for so long. I got him out of that business. Thankfully, I enticed him to come to the insurance world. So, but yeah, like I love my parents, and we had a great relationship. I was an only child, but like they didn't get to go do the things. And so when I became a parent, I'd coached dance since I was 17 years old. So I've always been around kids. I'm like, I want to be there. I didn't want my
Yeah.
kid to be the kid in the corner, like wondering where their parent was, like some parents
I
don't have,
was I was that I was that kid, Stephanie. I was
yeah,
that kid. I was that
yeah,
kid. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because parents have to go to work. And so I talk to women all the time about this business, especially younger women, like, hey, like you need to make money. Like, why don't you get in the insurance business? Like, it's amazing what this could do for you.
Yeah. And I love that. I'm staying on this point because I believe this is the biggest reason why a lot of people do not succeed in the business, because they haven't quite grasped what you're sharing just yet. And
Yeah.
I truly believe when they grasp that, their business is going to change very quickly, right?
Hmm.
Like just really understanding that it all starts with having a burning desire to want different
Yes.
than what you had. And that's the whole reason why I get up every single day, is because I don't, you're right. Like, I don't want my future children to be like, oh snap, daddy couldn't come to any sporting events. You
Yeah,
know, and the reason why my mom and dad couldn't come is because they was just working all the time. It's not because they didn't want to be there. They were just simply working all the time.
yeah.
And it's that's why you get up every single day to put the work in. So thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable with that information. I got a couple of rapid fire questions for you. We're going to conclude. And the first question is this: why should someone decide to build a team?
Oh gosh, why not? I mean, so
All right,
first
next
of all,
question. That was good. I
you
like
gotta,
that.
yeah, you gotta have experience before you build a team. But yeah, I mean, if you like to coach and you're good with people, can't leave your agents hanging, right? So you gotta be there to again answer the phone, right, all the time. But yeah, why not? It's the
Why
best way
not?
to. It's been the best thing I did, honestly. And it was hard because I had to step back from selling, like I do. I have an appointment tomorrow, but I don't do that a lot. But I love
Yeah.
pouring agents. I love seeing them succeed. It's the best thing
Yeah,
ever.
I always like to say every time a new agent comes in, like we got new agent training happening this week, and I can go out and put 10, like 5,000, 10,000 up on my own personal pin, like in a
Yeah.
day, right? But I get so more excited seeing a new agent come in and put up a policy for like $378 in AP.
That's
I'm
amazing.
like, let's go. It felt like I just wrote like 10,000. I feel like Tiger
Yeah.
Woods. Did you just see that? I was like, let's go. That's what Tiger Woods be doing. All right.
Yes.
I just feel like Tiger Woods when he just get the eagle, I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, we gotta get
Yeah.
more of those,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just based on what you're sharing, you have such a like it sounds like you have a servitude heart to want to see other people win. And you get so I'm sure you probably get so much more joy seeing other people put up policies than even yourself. Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing better than seeing that.
Well, it's just when it clicks, right? Especially when you get an
Right.
agent that's really struggling, and then like you're talking them off the ledge like every day, come on, you can do this. You got this. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's coming. I swear to you, it's coming. Ever all the work you're putting in right now, it's coming. And then they just blow it out of the park. And it's like, I knew you could do this.
I
See,
knew you could do it.
like, come on.
Yes. It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad after all, was it? Yeah, it was bad. No, keep going.
It sucks in the beginning, but I swear it'll be worth it.
100%. All right. So the next question is, how do you manage building a team while you were selling insurance? So when you were selling insurance full time, how did you manage building and still selling?
Yeah, so we're not, you guys are going, your growth. I want to know, we need to have a conversation about how you guys are growing because we're at like 45-ish agents right now. But I
Mhm.
only took on so much, kind of a control freak. So I wanted to make sure like our first 50, 100 agents were like trained by me, right?
That's good.
I
I
have
like that.
agents now coming into leadership, positions because I know they're ready for it, but I won't let that just happen. Like you have to earn it and you also have to show me that you're capable of taking somebody on. So back going back in the beginning, I took on a small team. I started SBG with like 8 agents when we became an agency. Just people who knew me and wanted to get in the business. So I've only taken on like right now. I think I got like 4 or 5 new agents. I only will do like 4 or 5 in like a month because I don't want to let any of them not have the attention that they need from me.
That's good.
So, and that's kind of how I balanced it. And now, I try to give like my leads away, my clients away, unless it's certain people. And like tomorrow I'm running an appointment. But that's how it was. I just started little. I
Yeah,
can't take on too much at once because I feel a lot of if I bring somebody in the business and I tell them that I'm going to help them, like I have to be there for them, right? And so many of these other agents from other places are like getting this promise from these uplines and then like they just ghost them, right? We all know that. So I'm like, I promise I'm not going to ghost you. I'm going to be here.
yeah.
I'm going to answer the phone appointment. So that's kind of how it is. I just little by little, I've never taken on, this is the most agents at one time I've taken on, just because I just know that I don't want to get overwhelmed and I don't want to let anybody down either.
Yeah, no, that's a good concept, working with people who are serious and putting some time into them to grow them, right?
Mhm.
Long term, that actually works out a lot better than just trying to recruit, and hope that people stick, right?
Yeah.
Because you can be able to give them more attention.
Yeah.
Is your agency primarily LOA, or do you have some independent brokers too?
Yeah, like we started as a completely LOA agency and I realized we weren't gonna do that forever. So I would say like 25% of my agents right now LOA, but I kind of took Secure's model and made it our own where we have a LOA to direct program in 3 years. So if they have certain sales goals. But I also have agents on my team that have been in the business longer than I have. I have an agent that worked for Humana for 20 years. And she's on my team. So obviously she got direct contracts. So when I see an agent, if they have more than 2 or 3 years of experience, actual goods experience, they'll get direct contracts. Everybody else gets LOA contracts.
Gotcha. I love that. I love that growth plan. Yeah, Secure definitely has the game, the blueprint on how
Yeah,
to do that thing. Like I'm telling you, Brian Askins, he's
Ty really helped us a lot when we
really
came
smart.
in. Like when
Yeah.
we came in during the merger, like he was amazing. Like he
Yeah,
did everything. So
100%. Indeed, indeed. All right. And then my last question here is, what is one thing you know now that you wish you knew at the beginning of your career that could have helped you get you to where you are today faster?
networking, getting out in your town and community. That's
Mhm.
well, let me go back. So I was out in my town and community for sure, but I wasn't using my referral partners. I didn't get taught that. So I wish I had started doing that earlier. I wish I had made those relationships like I have now and all my agents have now. Because I think that I would have just obviously multiplied quicker and faster and more clients. But I wasn't taught that. I was taught like go out and call people and call people, cold call. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it works. It works. That works too. There's nothing wrong with that. But,
Yeah.
really making those referral partners. I wish I had done that way early. We just didn't start doing that until we became an agency. So,
Gotcha. That's some really, really good feedback. And my last question is this. What is one piece of advice you can give to a brand new agent starting out in life, health, no matter what vertical they're starting out as? What is one piece of advice you can give them starting out to help them become successful?
surround yourself with people that support you, fully support you, and keep a positive mindset. And I know positive mindsets, like everyone says, keep up a positive mindset. One of my best friends is actually Kristen Butler, who owns Power Positivity. And she's an author. Go check them out. I have them on my phone. Sometimes when I'm having a day, I'm like, let me just see the things that she. I need to get some good stuff in my brain. But positive mindset and, just not giving up. There's going to be some days, like we said earlier, that like just suck. You're going to do everything right and you're not going to make any business, and then you're going to have other days where it's going to be super easy and you're going to write a ton of apps. But keeping that positive mindset and just don't give up. Just don't give up. A little bit each day gets you ahead in this business. And that's the only thing that separates, the 8% and the 92% is that 8% just didn't give up. They just kept going. They weren't any better than anybody else. They just kept going to work and kept doing the things.
Just kept going. I love the mantra that you have, just one app a day, one app a day, one app a day.
Mm.
I always like to say, I actually got this from he's my barber, but he's like my life coach too. Because if I'm not sure if your husband just said at the barber shop where he cut his own hair, but it's a therapy session that be happening in these barber shops, right? And he just be dropping small gems on me.
Yeah.
He'd be like, Jalen, crumbs make a cake, trees make a forest. I'm like, what does that even mean? Right?
Mm.
But the more I grow in business, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Crumbs make a cake, trees make a forest. And I just start saying these to agents. Just these small little sayings that just keep the positive mindset going.
Yeah.
Crumbs make a cake, trees make a forest. One app a day, keep the policies away.
Yeah.
Essentially
All that.
everything adds up over time.
It
So
does. And it's funny you brought up the barber shop because my husband does go to a barber shop. And I remember when we first became an agency, he like sold all of them their Medicare plans. And he's like, hey, we need to have a thing here. And he had a table there. Like first year he was with us, he wasn't supposed to sell anything. He was supposed to come in and help me run the agency. And he's like, I went to the barber today and I have appointments with all of them. I'm like, okay, awesome. They're all our
networking, networking.
networking.
Yes,
Work
that's
smart, not hard.
incredible. Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was incredible. Great, great call. She did not
Right.
have to get on this call at all this evening, and she came in and absolutely gave us some great, great information. No matter if you're doing Medicare, ACA, annuities, life, there was some gems that you guys can all be able to apply in your business starting tonight, right?
Thanks for inviting me to, guys. This was great.